All right, let's talk about a crime that was so meticulously planned it was almost flawless. But this isn't just a story about a heist. It's about a murder that shouldn't have been possible, a whole trail of bodies left behind, and a phantom thief who could, well, seemingly walk right through walls. So this is the question that just completely stumped investigators right from the get-go. It's the central paradox of this whole case. I mean, how does a robbery staged with toy guns end with a very real professional assassination? It just doesn't make any sense. So it all starts in the middle of a busy afternoon at a pretty high-end jewelry shop. And then, all of a sudden, bam! Two masked men burst through the doors, guns firing, totally shattering the calm and sending people diving for cover. It looks like your classic smash and grab. But as we're about to find out, absolutely nothing about this crime is what it seems. And here it is, the first major contradiction the Criminal Investigation Department, the CID, had to figure out. The robbers inside? They were using fake guns. Making a lot of noise, creating chaos, but posing no real lethal threat. Yet the security guard who tried to stop them was killed by a single, real bullet. A shot that absolutely could not have come from inside that shop. So the investigation immediately expands way beyond the shop. That bullet? It's a high-caliber round from a sniper rifle. That clue leads them to a rooftop right across the street. And what do they find? A sniper's nest and another key piece of evidence, a size 9 shoe print. Yeah, what looked like a simple robbery was clearly a coordinated, professional hit. Now, with a sniper involved, you'd think the police had a clear path, right? Find a skilled marksman, but instead of getting clearer, the case just spiraled into total chaos, taking one bizarre turn after another as the body count just started to rise. Just look at how quickly everything went sideways. In the span of just 30 minutes, this case explodes from a robbery to a sniper attack, a fatal car crash, and then a triple homicide. For investigators, every new development just left them with more bodies and way fewer answers. So the getaway car crashes, but the driver wasn't killed in the accident. Nope, he was murdered mid-escape. The other two robbers, found in a nearby apartment, also executed. And here's the part that made absolutely no sense. The stolen jewelry was found right at the scene, completely untouched. If this wasn't about the money, then what on earth was it about? Just as the case hits a total dead end, a phone rings in the apartment of the dead robbers. A woman is on the line, and she has no idea her accomplices are dead. She says they're ready for another heist, tonight. This proves one thing. The mastermind behind all this is still out there, and they're just getting started. So the police trace that mysterious call, and the location is, well, it's impossible. It came from inside the jewelry shop, the very same crime scene that was sealed and locked down by police hours ago. How could anyone be making a call from inside? This single impossible clue was about to blow the entire case wide open. And then it hits them. The violent robbery, the gunfire, the panic, it was never about the jewelry. It was all a performance, an elaborate, bloody piece of theater designed to make everyone look one way while something else was happening entirely. Because while every single police officer, paramedic, and witness was focused on the chaos at the front of the store, the real crime was happening in complete silence just a few feet away. Investigators discover this huge, freshly plastered hole in the jewelry shop's storeroom wall. A hole that leads directly into the vault of the neighboring bank. The entire robbery, the sniper, the getaway, it was all just a complex smokescreen for a much bigger, much more audacious crime. Knowing the thieves are definitely going to come back for the real prize, CID sets up a stakeout. They've got hidden cameras in both the jewelry shop and the bank vault. They're just lying in wait, ready to catch the mastermind in the act. But what they witness, it's something that just seems impossible. Okay, so this is what the police saw on their hidden cameras. A woman simply materializes inside the locked bank vault. She calmly paints over their camera lenses, loads up on gold, and then, poof, she vanishes. The vault is still locked from the outside. The jewelry shop is locked. It was as if she walked through solid walls. The police were just baffled. They had just watched a ghost commit a robbery. I mean, she couldn't have gotten out of the sealed vault. But when they breached it, she wasn't there. So where could she possibly have gone? Turns out the answer wasn't in the vault. It was back in the jewelry shop's storeroom, hiding in plain sight, an unassuming storage cabinet.
But this was no ordinary piece of furniture. Oh no, it was custom built to hold a secret.
Inside a hidden compartment, barely big enough for a person to fit, they find her, Gia, the ghost from the vaults. And she's dead. The cause of death is suffocation. A small air vent on the cabinet was deliberately slid shut from the outside. The mastermind was cleaning house again.
So, with a trail of 5 bodies, it's crystal clear a single, ruthless architect is behind this entire operation, eliminating every single person who could possibly connect them to the crime. All CID needs is one tiny mistake.
The pattern was just chillingly efficient. Every single person involved, from the robbers hired for the diversion to the woman who actually stole the gold, was now dead. Each one systematically eliminated. That meant only 2 people were left, the sniper and the mastermind pulling all the strings. But in their rush to silence their accomplice, the killer made one tiny fatal mistake. As they slid that air vent shut, they got careless. They left behind a single bloody fingerprint, the one piece of evidence that would bring this entire perfect crime crashing down.
The fingerprint belongs to the sniper, who is quickly apprehended. He confesses everything and reveals the true identity of the mastermind, Sudarshan, the owner of the jewelry shop himself. This was his plan all along, a true masterpiece of misdirection, where every single player was disposable. And here's the twisted genius of it all. In his own words, by making himself the initial victim, Sudarshan believed he was creating the perfect alibi. He was hiding in plain sight, the architect of a crime that happened right under his own roof.
You know, ultimately, the plan was just too complex, with too many people who needed to be silenced. It really begs the question, in a scheme that required so much violence just to maintain its secrecy, was it ever truly perfect? Or was its collapse just inevitable from the very first shot that was fired?